the midst of all the freezing, you do have water running right there as well. Look at that. See that? So I got some good roads, so make up some time, push it a little bit. Soon it's gonna get dark, as well as the roads are gonna get slick again. So just make use of all the good temperature and roads that I have. Can't imagine how dangerous these roads are once it's covered in ice and snow. See these very steep decline, and of course if you go in the opposite direction, incline. Not to mention in deep winter, January, February, when there's little daylight out, so the roads stay slick. If you notice what seems like gravel on the side of the road, it's actually a part of the road, and it's made that way by design to help give some traction during the winter months when you have snow and ice on the road. But I've been driving for 2,325 miles now. Look at that. Middle of nowhere. And for about half of that, this is what I've been seeing. Vast amount of forest. your evergreen tree, fir and spruce. Wildlife protection guy. In Jamaica, we used to call, when I was growing up, we used to call every single tree that is an evergreen tree, we call it a willow tree. Whether it's willow itself or fir, F-I-R, not F-U-R. F-U-R is what we wear, what we get from the animal. But F-I-R, fir. Yep. Those trees standing in front of you, standing tall, they're evergreen throughout the winter. I think the willow actually dries up during winter time. And of course, as you know, there aren't really many willow trees in the arid, not arid, I was gonna say arid, but the Arctic area. Arctic areas. Most of these bridges over here, what they do is they have like a grate as the span of the bridge, because you know the bridge ices faster than the road. But see, it's like a grate. You see the river over there. So of course it won't accumulate that ice, that the concrete, because ice can fall through the cracks down below. And so once again it keeps it from being extremely dangerous. The reason why the bridge freezes before the road, and I'm pretty sure you all know this, but there's nothing underneath the bridge, so that cold air envelopes the bridge from all angles, the top, sides, and the bottom. So it freezes faster than the actual road, because the road, most of the cold is coming from above, because underneath, you know, is all the dirt and whatever, the rocks and sediments, whatever. So the cold is coming from above, but for the bridge, the cold is coming from all angles. A lot of signs out here warning of falling rocks. I can imagine during summertime, springtime and summertime, when all the snow and ice melts and the land is thawing out and is warming up. There's a lot of loose earth, and so that's the time they have most of the landslide and slippages and rock falling, I'm guessing, unless in the winter time, because during the winter time, I guess the frozen earth, it's kind of like somewhat fused together. The ice holds everything together somewhat, and then, like I say, when it melts, then everything let loose, all hell let loose. video, but there's a little bit of snow flurries flying around. And of course you can see on the road as well that there's a little bit more dusting than what we had on the other side. 21 degrees Fahrenheit now, so still way below freezing, but no ice or anything on the road to be slick. It's just a bit of loose snow right now. Still got to be careful, but not too concerned about it. Still getting good traction and everything from the road. Tires are gripping. Just remember out there, whenever you're on the roads, or wherever you're at for that matter, whether you're driving, walking, running, riding, sitting down, just remember you gotta always put safety at the forefront of your mind, and also try to practice safety at all times. And just remember, we gotta be proactive, not reactive, you know. So anticipate conditions that might not be too safe and avoid them if possible. And if you can't avoid it, then by all means try to mitigate whatever safety concerns or risk there might be. And once again, like I say, this is in our everyday life. On the video, these mountains might not seem as high or as large, but these mountains are very high, towering above the road. And as you can see, some of them are actually right up by the road. It seems like, well, it doesn't seem like, but the road was cut through the mountains. One thing I know that I don't see here in Canada, and it's the same way when you move on into Alaska, for instance, or the other parts of North America, you don't see a lot of tunnels going through like mountainsides. In South Korea, where I spent some time, there are so many tunnels over there. They just cut the roads right through the mountains, and there's so many tunnels over there. Another large mountain way there in front of me. You see a big one, and then you look again and you see a bigger one, taller one. It's up there, way up in the clouds. It's like a landfill right here or something. Oh no, it's just salt and gravel for the road. Good. I'm going at 94 kilometers per hour right now. It's pretty good. Like I said, the road isn't slick or anything of that sort. Speed limit is 110, but I'm gonna keep it below the speed limit. Another river. You can see the width of that thing, but most of it is dry right now. You can see the water rushing. You probably can't see it on the video, but the water is actually rushing now. when I get up here to this bridge, I might try to stop and take a picture or two. By the way, there are no cell service, the cellular phone service out here in these parts. So I'm just making a video, and then when I get to where I can get cell service, I can go online. But honestly, some of the areas that I passed through that I was receiving a cellular service was kind of like amazing to me, because it was like in the middle of nowhere. You look around and all you can see is trees and mountains, and I was getting signal, and I was like, wow. Same thing when I was out there in North Dakota. It was just on a prairie in the middle of nowhere, and it's wide open prairie, so it's like grassland, and I was getting a signal, and there weren't any cell towers in view anywhere. This is the Racing River. Racing River. Look right there. You can see the water. Let's see the water right there. And all of this turns into river once the snow melts, but right now you can see the water right there. All right, let me get off this bridge because I'm not gonna stop on the bridge because they're not supposed to stop on bridges. Plus there's traffic coming as well. B&B Folding Mountain. Okay, so that's the Folding Mountain. So I can't see it right now. What is the mountain right there? If you look in the rearview mirror, you can see it. Probably. There's some horses over here. See the horses standing out there in the middle of the field. Right there. See that? It's a ranch. I don't know which ranch it is, but it's a ranch right there. And there's horses. Those things are frozen. So I guess that's the Folding Mountain up there. Ranch is also called Folding Mountain Ranch. another ranch up here on the left side of the road right here. It's right there. To the log cabins. See some smoke coming out the chimney. Somebody's cooking up a storm. What time is it? 3:30 in the afternoon. Toad River Lodge. Toad River Lodge. Toad River is 2 kilometers away, and they say they have fuel, so I'll stop and get me some gas. Look at the electrical wires. I'm thinking how we're in the middle of nowhere pretty much, and there's electrical wires running out here. And when you think of other places like back home in Jamaica, there are places that still don't have electric lights, or power as we call it here. And it's such a tiny little place. You should be able to just run some electrical wires across the entire island so that everybody in every nook and cranny can have electricity. And now, since we have renewable energies, I guess they can go for some solar. Just have solar farms strategically placed so that the entire island can benefit from it, because I know it's expensive to put in, of course, but once you get it in, it's not as expensive to maintain. Besides, they have the sun like 24/7 there, so should be no issue. Toad River.